Ever heard of the saying, the birds are gone, the bow is put away, the cunning hare is dead, the hounds are cooked? This chilling phrase perfectly captures the tragic fate of one of China's most brilliant military minds, Han Xin. His story is a classic tale of genius, ambition, and the deadly game of power. It's a lesson that resonates even today, 2,000 years later. Han Xin started from nothing. He was so poor he had to endure the humiliation of crawling between a bully's legs just to avoid a fight. Yet, this was the same man who would later command vast armies and reshape the map of China. His military talent was undeniable. When he finally got his chance under Liu Bang, who was vying to establish the Han Dynasty, Han Xion's genius exploded onto the scene. He was the mastermind behind some of the most legendary battles in Chinese history. Remember the Battle of Jingxing? Han Xion positioned his army with their backs to a river, a seemingly suicidal move. But this death-ground strategy forced his soldiers to fight with desperate courage, leading to a stunning victory against a much larger force. He was a master of psychology, a brilliant strategist, and an innovator on the battlefield. Time and time again, he delivered victory after victory for Liu Bang, conquering rival kingdoms and paving the way for the establishment of the Han Dynasty. Without Han Xion, it's safe to say Liu Bang's dream of becoming emperor might have remained just that, a dream. So, how did this hero, this founding father of a dynasty, end up being executed on the orders of the very man he helped put on the throne? This is where the story takes a dark turn and becomes a timeless lesson in workplace politics and human nature. The problem wasn't Han Xion's ability, it was his emotional intelligence, or lack thereof. He was a genius on the battlefield but a novice in the treacherous court of politics. Han Xion never quite understood the golden rule of power, never outshine the master. His repeated successes, his unmatched military authority, and his control over the most powerful armies in the land began to look less like a blessing and more like a threat to Emperor Liu Bang. Liu Bang was a shrewd and suspicious ruler. He rose from a commoner background and was acutely aware of how fragile his new empire was. He saw Han Xion's immense popularity and military prowess not as a pillar of support, but as a potential dagger pointed at his own throat. There were several key moments that sealed Han Xion's fate. One of the most famous was when he demanded to be made the acting king of Qi. After conquering the powerful state of Qi, Han Xion sent a message to Liu Bang, who was in a precarious situation, basically saying, "The people of Qi are rebellious. To keep them under control, you should make me a temporary king." To Liu Bang, this sounded like blackmail. It felt like Han Xion was leveraging his military power to demand a higher position. Although Liu Bang reluctantly agreed at the moment, the seed of deep suspicion was firmly planted. Han Xion saw it as a practical request, Liu Bang saw it as a challenge to his authority. This highlights the first major takeaway from Han Xion's life: talent without political wisdom is a double-edged sword. You can be the best at what you do, the most skilled person in the room, but if you don't understand the dynamics of power and the psychology of those above you, your own talent can become your biggest liability. Your success can breed envy and fear. Han Xion was so focused on his military objectives that he was blind to the political storm gathering around him. He didn't build alliances at court, and his pride often made him seem arrogant and dismissive of others, further isolating him. The second critical lesson is about the importance of trust within a team, especially when you're a high achiever. For sustainable success, your individual capabilities are only half the equation. The other half is building trust and fostering good cooperative relationships. Han Xion failed to build a relationship of genuine trust with Liu Bang. He saw their relationship as transactional: I win battles for you, you reward me. But for an emperor, loyalty and trust are paramount, far more valuable than mere competence. Liu Bang had other loyal followers, like Xiao He and Zhang Liang, who were also incredibly talented. But they understood the emperor. They knew when to step back, when to give credit to their boss, and how to manage their own success so it wouldn't be perceived as a threat. They played the long game, while Han Xion was only focused on the immediate battle. Think about it in a modern context. You might be the star employee who consistently exceeds every target. But if your boss starts to feel that you're making them look bad, or that you're angling for their job, or that you're becoming too influential within the team, your position can become surprisingly precarious. Your success becomes a problem to be managed, not a contribution to be celebrated. Han Xion was the ultimate star employee, but he made his boss, the CEO of the new Han Dynasty Incorporated, feel insecure. And in the high-stakes world of imperial power, insecurity leads to elimination. This brings us to the final, crucial point: recognizing that in any competitive environment, your success can be seen as a threat. This doesn't mean you should hide your talents or deliberately underperform. It means you need a smarter, more humble strategy for your own development. You need to manage perceptions. Han Xion was openly ambitious. He didn't hide his desire for titles and recognition, which, in the eyes of a paranoid emperor, looked like a thirst for ultimate power. A wiser approach would have been to publicly attribute his successes to the emperor's brilliant leadership, to show unwavering loyalty, and perhaps even to voluntarily step back from power once the empire was secure. After the founding of the Han Dynasty, Liu Bang systematically began to strip Han Xin of his power. First, he was demoted from a king to a marquis. His military command was taken away. Han Xin became bitter and resentful, reportedly complaining that he was reduced to the same rank as some of the men who used to be his subordinates. This bitterness only confirmed Liu Bang's suspicions. The final nail in the coffin came when he was accused of plotting a rebellion. Whether the plot was real or fabricated by his political enemies, including Empress Liu Bang's ruthless wife, is still debated by historians. But in the end, it didn't matter. The perception was enough. Han Xin was lured into a trap and executed. The man who won an empire for another was destroyed by the very empire he helped create. So, what can we learn from this 2,000-year-old tragedy? It's a powerful reminder that technical skills alone are not enough. Social and political intelligence are just as critical for survival and success, whether you're in an ancient imperial court or a modern corporate office. First, understand the person in charge. What are their fears, their insecurities, their goals? Manage your relationship with them carefully. Second, build trust, not just a track record. Be a reliable team player, not just a lone superstar. Share the credit, build alliances, and show that your success contributes to the group's success, not just your own. And finally, be smart about how you project your ambition. Learn to be humble, even in victory. Know when to push forward and, just as importantly, when to take a step back. The story of Han Xin isn't just a piece of history, it's a manual on power, ambition, and the art of survival. His brilliance as a general is legendary, but his failure as a courtier is a lesson for the ages. Don't let your talent become a weapon that's turned against you. Pair it with wisdom, humility, and a deep understanding of human nature. That is the key to not only achieving success but also keeping it. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more deep dives into the lessons history has to teach us. See you in the next video.